Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jen Trepic, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries. This week, we're talking about celery. So March is actually celery month. There's a month for everything. P.S. If you're listening to this on Friday, when the Nutrition Nugget airs by itself, it's April 1st. So April Fools. Totally kidding. But for real, March is celery month. There's a month for everything. And that really inspired this Nutrition Nugget. So now, I don't know about you, but every time I eat celery, I remember what I was told a million times ages ago in my dieting days, which was, do you know what I'm going to say?
Celery juice?
Well, so celery is a negative calorie vegetable.
Oh,
a negative
right.
calorie food.
Yep.
So the energy, what that actually means is that the energy it takes, the calories burned, breaking it down, is more than the number of calories in the celery itself, inherently creating a net deficit. Because celery, right, this makes sense. Celery is made mostly of water and fiber. So actually 1 cup of celery sticks gives us 5 grams of dietary fiber. And, you know, I say that with a little bit of hesitation because, like, please don't go start eating, only celery all day, right? That's not the answer. But I do want to dig into it because there's more to the story than just this negative calorie thing. So celery is in the same family as carrots, parsley, and parsnip. So just like these other plants, celery offers a variety of plant compounds that have powerful antioxidant properties. So celery offers us also vitamin K, folate, vitamin A, potassium, and vitamin C. So when we think about this, we have to consider the amount of celery we're eating, right? A single stalk, the amounts aren't that huge. Nevertheless, right, there's still value. And that's a lot of times why we hear about celery juice, right? We can get more of all these phytonutrients. When we talk about antioxidants, we also often talk about inflammation, right? So given the phytonutrients and antioxidants like vitamin C, beta carotene, and more, we also think of reduced inflammation in the digestive tract, in our cells, in our blood vessels, our organs, even your joints, right? So think of inflammation in the joints. That's often diagnosed as arthritis, right? So we can look at celery as somewhat of an anti-inflammatory in some ways. The research to support the connection between preventing inflammation and cancer is a lot, right? So one plant compound in celery is called, and Liana, tell me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, apigenin?
Apigenin? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's also used in traditional Chinese medicine as an anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antiviral, antioxidant agent, right? So with regard to cancer, these properties, there was a study in 2016, or actually it was like a review of a whole bunch of studies. So they discussed that lab tests showed apigenin may contribute to apoptosis, which is programmed cell death, right? So a cell dying when it is supposed to, which could make it super helpful in cancer treatment, right? Another flavonoid in celery is called luteolin, which may help prevent the spread of cancer cells and induce cell death, as it seems to make cancer cells more susceptible to attack by chemicals in the treatments. So again, as we spoke earlier today about sort of using these approaches in combination, this could be really interesting. Less specific to cancer itself, in 2015, researchers concluded that apigenin and apigenin-rich diets reduce the expression of certain inflammatory proteins in mice. So therefore, they could imply that these substances high in apigenin, like celery, may reduce inflammation and restore balance to the immune system. So not surprising, you'll also hear about celery as a low glycemic food, which all of you know if you listen here often, right? We talk about this all the time. And that's certainly because of the fiber content and the water, right? Also connected to fiber and water in celery, we see research about celery's connection to digestion. Celery also contains a pectin-based polysaccharide, which animal studies suggest may decrease instances of stomach ulcers, improve the lining of the stomach, and modulate stomach secretions. So many benefits. The mineral content of celery, right? We go back to magnesium. We talk about magnesium a lot, right? We talked about it earlier today. But celery has magnesium, iron, and sodium, which means it can help neutralize the effect of acidic foods. It supports our body's mineral deficiencies and can help support blood pressure. So the high fiber content also supports this normal blood pressure too. On the blood pressure front, you'll also see studies, mostly in animals, very few on humans, but using celery seed extracts or even just celery seeds. And, I'd love to see more research on it, but I think, it just makes the argument for all of us to add more celery. Look at this as another one of Earth's remedies, right?
Yes.
On a practical front, to buy celery, look for sturdy stalks, right? We don't want something soft or flimsy. And don't forget about the leaves, right? You want the leaves to be crisp also, like not soft. You want them, they could be all different shades of green, but nothing yellow or brown spots. And interesting, so eat celery within about a week of buying it. And it's actually better to wait to chop it till right before you use it. So this helps retain the nutritive value. Don't be afraid to eat those leaves. Also, the leaves give us actually most of the calcium, potassium, and vitamin C that's in celery. I feel like a lot of times we think of celery as like, oh, you have to eat it raw, but you don't. Or like it's like cooked to smithereens in a soup, right? But you could saute, boil it, stir fry it, add the leaves to salad greens, chop up those leaves as extra garnish on your foods. Liana, give us a couple fun ways for celery.
Oh, I love sauteing it with a vegetable stir fry with some carrots, and you can keep it plant-based or add some meat. And then I also juice it. So every time I'm making a juice here at home, it has celery, and I also make sure I juice the leaves as well. Like you said, the leaves are more bitter, but that's where all the calcium, potassium is. And also I just love making a chicken noodle soup with an entire chicken. So I boil down the bones for 3 hours, and then I add celery right at the end, so it's not super mushy. So that's like just the very last minute, and I'll just boil that for the last 5 minutes. So yeah, celery is definitely a part of my life every single day. Oh, and I include it as one of the top 10 ingredients in my anxiety supplement. Celery is the top 10, and I included it in there because of all of those amazing reasons that you just mentioned, and also because it's very hydrating, very uplifting for the brain, for the nervous system as well. So it does help with anxiety, depression.
Yeah, and you just brought something up too. I think sometimes when people are like, oh, I don't like celery, it's either because they've had it only raw or super mushy.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's time to give it a try.
It can be so tasty, and especially with sun butter. I love putting sun butter in it instead of the peanut butter and eating it that way for some protein, and it's delicious.
Exactly. My favorite too. So of course, if you're allergic, steer clear. Celery for some people, so celery is high in oxalates, which means it's potentially not the best choice for those who suffer from kidney stones or have kidney-related conditions. I should do another nutrition nugget on oxalates, but otherwise, maybe add some celery, right? I think that does it. Liana, thank you again for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. That was awesome. And I just love the nutrition nugget at the end too.
Thanks. As always, everybody, I'm your host, Jen Trepeck. Connect with me on Instagram or all social media. It's at Jen Trepeck, JENNTREPECK. Our website, asaladwithasideofries.com. Social media or the website, send us a message. I love hearing from you. So share your ideas, your takeaways, any questions you have. This is also the easiest way to learn more about working with me. Of course, if you're not already a member, join our membership by going to glow.fm/saladwithasideofries to show your support for this podcast, this community, and above all, supports your health. You'll get this week's recipe for the meat sauce zucchini cups, and of course, 30% off Liana's group coaching. Remember, the earth already has everything we need for life and for healing.
Love that. So true. Yes.
Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.